Hey DB, I don't know if you guys can hear me or not. It's been a long time since I've done this. Um, I'm very excited. We finally hit 3,000 subscribers, and I am just very blown away. I'm very thankful for all of you. Please let me know if you guys can hear well. Awesome. Really hope I don't get copyright claimed. I'm playing a Quiet Riot album in the background. I hope they don't take it down. Thanks, man. It's been about 3 months since I've done this. It's insane. Still trying to get used to it. It's all different. Like I said, if anybody you have seen the community page, I've stated that this is basically going to be a Q&A kind of session and music discussion. Obviously, like my entire channel is, but I think today is pretty going to be kind of lengthy because I want it to be special because it's 3,000. It's a pinnacle and like step I've been working to for a very long time. So if you guys have any questions or if there's anything you guys like to talk about, please let me know, and I'm be more than happy to discuss it with you. Oh, weird. I think he's a very, very underrated guitarist. He does not get talked about a lot. I've been listening to Testament quite a bit lately, and I've been especially Over the Wall. Over the Wall is my favorite. I love that raw, really extremely like thrashy vibe that they give off. I think it's better than Slayer, hot take, but that's a discussion I'll get on. Big four, like there's Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Anthrax. I don't think Slayer should be in the top four best thrash album, like thrash artists. I think it should be Testament or Pantera being the substitute for Slayer. I think Anthrax is pretty good, and I think they deserve to be in the big four. But I think maybe it's just because I'm not a big Slayer fan. I like Season of the Abyss and Rain and Blood, and that's kind of it. But the rest, I think, is kind of filler, and I think that Testament and Pantera would be a very good substitute for that. But that's just me. Yeah, 100% agree. Also, I've been getting into a lot more. I've been reading Rudy's book, Off the Rails, about just kind of everything that happened when Randy passed away, just to try to get more insight on what really happened and all the perspectives from like Tommy Aldridge and Don Airy and like the tour manager and the whole backstory behind Andrew Aycock. It's it's gotten to a point where I think there's a lot of stuff that we really don't know about it still. I mean, it's 42 years ago that he's been gone, and there's still so much that could be told. I mean, we got a lot from Rudy's book and from different interviews with like Tommy and him saying the stuff about like him waking up and he kind of like stood up to kind of make coffee or tea or something, just like stir milk and honey and sugar into some sort of beverage. He heard and smelled like gas and like burning plastic, and it was kind of devastating because when he walked out, he saw this. I think it was their tour manager, Kim, kind of rocking back and forth on the ground in front of the mansion, well, in front of the bus, like talking to himself, saying that they're gone, they're gone. It's just really devastating, especially to me. And it was also like 4 o'clock in the morning, and it was just really, really sad to get those different perspectives from what really actually happened. And Don Airy taking the aerial photos when him, Rachel, and Andrew were up in the plane, and I think Don, there was like saying that Don could like see the inside of the plane, see that there was like a little bit of ruckus and a little bit of movement that was teetering the plane back and forth. So I think Don Airy knows a little bit more about what happened, but that's just a theory of mine about what we could debunk and get out of that whole situation, that very devastating situation. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm willing to answer them. Lately, I've been getting into a lot of Mick Ronson. I know you've seen the how to get the Mick Ronson tone video, like kind of the rig rundown, which I'm working on the Randy Rhoads one right now. And his work on Hunky Dory and Ziggy Stardust, the album, oh my Christ. It's just, it blows me away about how he died from. I know he didn't die from lung cancer. I know he died from some sort of cancer, but it's just really sad that he worked with so many incredible people. It's just insane. And again, his influence on Randy, you can definitely tell that at a major degree. I mean, his style. I think I've read something about how Randy made his polka dot V in Quite Right with the inspiration and goal to make it look like I think Mick Ronson's knee pads, if I'm not mistaken. And Ringo's mom. Hey, Gigi. We're up to 6 people now watching. That's really good. It's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Hoping we can get up to like maybe 10 or 15, maybe. That'd be cool. Hey, 9. Awesome. 9 people. Thank you guys so much for absolutely everything. I cannot thank you guys enough for you guys' support. I mean, I've been doing this for like 2.5 years now, and I remember the very first year, it was really awkward. It was really different because all that time I've always debated on doing it, and I've never did because I was so anxious about whether I would do good or not. And I think I'm doing something right here with 3,000 now, and I'm hoping maybe within this next couple months, we were like 4 or 5 months into 2024, and I've hit 3,000. I mean, I just can't believe it. I hope by the end of 2024 we reach 5,000. Maybe. I hope we can. I have a lot of plans and a lot of events taking place in 2024 that I am very excited to share with you guys. Hopefully, one of them I really hope I can make happen, but it's going to be towards the very end of the year. I have one coming up next month, which is going to be extremely fun to make. I have obviously a lot of new videos coming out soon, and just various shorts that I post about whether it be covers or whether it be miscellaneous 80s content that I do. But yeah, I'm very thankful for each and every one of you guys for supporting me over the past 2.5 years. And yeah, that's just my little rant of appreciation. I've actually never heard of that, actually. I didn't know Rob Halford had any other projects besides Priest and Hearing Aid, which was incredible. I wish they could be appreciated and talked about way more. Hearing Aid was like Kevin DuBrow, Rob Halford, Vivian Campbell, Carlos Cavasso, Dio, obviously. And everybody that you could possibly think of in that era was probably on that album and did that sort of metal version of We Are the World. Turn this down real quick. Thank you, Rinko's mom. I plan on making a lot more Beatles content too. With I was gonna do a review of Let It Be, which I don't know if you guys have seen. It's really good, but it's really sad, to say the least. It's like a very shorter version and condensed version of Get Back, which was incredible. I'm thinking about. I know I'm like 2.5 years late, or 2.5. It might be 3. I think it came out like 21 or 22, but it was a journey because I remember. I think it was like 2020. I got really heavily into the Beatles, and I actually got a majority of my family members into the Beatles more by getting them to watch that documentary. And we went to the Rock Hall about a year and a half after and saw the stuff for the exhibit, and it was just incredible. George's stuff was there, John's stuff was there. It was just so incredible to see all that stuff in person. I wanted to see Randy's stuff. I hopefully can make another trip back up there. I'm hoping either this year or next year, but it'll be definitely sometime soon because I really want to see Randy's stuff. But I'm very extremely lucky to have been able to go to the Rock Hall when I did, especially in like my prime of being a massive heavy Beatles fan for about 3 years into that, and it was just very surreal to see all of it. I didn't know you shared a birthday with John. That's pretty awesome. That's really cool, dude. I wish I could share a birthday with somebody like cool like that. I get jealous for people who are born on December 6th, simply because I'd love to share a birthday with Randy, and I'd love to share a birthday with like Ozzy or something. That'd be just so cool to be able to say. Yeah, yeah. On to that, Ringo's mom. I also realized and recognized that the whole debate between like Yoko kind of breaking up the Beatles, I get it, but it's sort of kind of cliche. I kind of go off in these like different rants and spreads of just kind of connecting the dots of what actually happened during that whole session and why and what made them break up. And that entire time in Let It Be, there was nobody going at each other's throats besides Paul and George. You can really tell that George was really not happy, and he did not want to be. You could tell they were getting really tired and wear out. Not only like the immense pressure that it took for them to even make Abbey Road and Let It Be, I think it squeezed like the last bit of determination to keep the Beatles alive, and it's just really sad to watch. But watching, um, like the whole like 8 hour Get Back series, I found myself watching it like on repeat, like 10 times in a row, almost, and it kind of the reason why I did that is because it put me in that state as if they're still doing that right now, and John and George are still alive, and it kind of puts me in a comfort as if, like I said, they're still alive doing that right now. Yeah, I hate that George was, but I get it. Paul even said that they lost that sort of like father figure when they were in those sessions, and it's just a lot that I don't think we'll ever really know the real story about what happened. But we know enough to kind of put things together and just kind of let it be, pun intended. My neighbors are deaf because I crank it all the way. But yeah, I can't control it. Music just takes over, and yeah, if they get angry, that's kind of too bad. I'm really hoping to get somewhat better equipment pretty soon. I mean, I just turned 15 a couple weeks ago, actually, 2.5 weeks ago, 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, and I mean, a lot is happening since I started this channel, and since I started guitar when I was like 5 or 6, a lot has progressed, and I'm very thankful for everybody that has came into my life, and I'm very thankful for all the opportunities I have to get me to the career I want to do, which is music. And getting new equipment will definitely um, soar higher because I mean this equipment I have right now is incredible. It's perfect for what I have at the moment. But like when I get a job, goodbye paychecks. Those paychecks are gone. I'm gonna spend my money wisely, but I'm definitely going to save up for a Les Paul and like a Marshall half stack. Yeah, that's the way I put it too, DB. They like my music whether or not they want to or not. I've also been really heavily getting into classical, which is what I want to go to college for. I want to get a classical degree, like kind of to live on Randy's legacy, and also pursue the genre that I want to, which is neoclassical. I think everybody on this channel can put that together. That neoclassical and like prog are my favorite because what I'm hoping for when I do get a band is hopefully making like a Dream Theater, Rush, Quiet Riot sort of mix and make my own rendition and hopefully change the way people think about it. Because in the generation we live in now, it's all computerized, AI generated sort of trash, in my opinion. I hate if somebody's scrolling through this and pops on this. This is my opinion. Everybody has their own opinion. I respect everybody's opinion, but I do not care for my generation's music and their outlook on life and the way kind of society is turning. But I'm hoping to change that in a good way because this world needs a whole lot more positivity and a lot less negativity and trash, in my opinion. And the Gibson store was incredible. There's only like two in the world, and there's one in London, which was opened by Brian May, Jimmy Page, and Tony Iommi. And there's one in Nashville, which is the one I showed you guys. And I'm very, very, very glad that I got the opportunity to go there because that 59 Murphy lap, Jesus Christ, it was perfect. I mean, I did not want to put it down. It was heavenly. And walking around, and I'm sure, I don't know Ringo's mom, if you've watched the Gibson video, but I think you should because I think about like the 4 minute mark. I got to see John Lennon's Epiphone Casino. You should also check out the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame video as well if you haven't seen that as well. Plugging in my videos subtly, but I think you would enjoy those a lot with the Beatles stuff and everything. I know I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope. I don't know if you guys have been, but it's definitely worth the trip and all the money that's spent on it. Yeah, I agree 100% that all today's music is computer generated. Not as much heart and thought put into it as it was back in the 70s and 80s. Up to 11 people now. Awesome. Thank you guys for viewing. And another thing about what makes me all this technology they have now, they have the ability to do so much, and they're taking advantage of it very much so in a good way and a bad way, because like I said, there's not as much thought put into it, which I was getting on the Mick Ronson video I made. I mean, who would have thought in like the early late '60s, early '70s, to get a Black Beauty, strip the front painting off, take the humbug, take the pickup covers off, and make something sound so large and incredible. And then nowadays, it's just kind of like mind numbing in a way that I choose not to listen to. I think I've heard of them before. I think I've seen some videos of them on my like YouTube page. But a lot of new rock bands coming out. Like I've mentioned Royal Blood, Cage the Elephant, Greta Van Fleet. I've mentioned those, and they are incredible semi new rock bands, and they're doing very well at keeping it alive. Like Polyphia, it's very modernized, but it's very different. But I'm very curious to how it will turn out because it seems very trendy. Because you see all these people like doing like the natural harmonics and like picking like that, knocking the body. It's nuts, and I respect the Christ out of it. And I wish that I could be able to do that, like Tim Henson. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but definitely check Tim Henson out. He's the epitome of modern, but he does it very well. And Polyphia is very extraordinary, especially for today's music. They are not joking around. And like Dragon Force, they're not that new, but they're like 2000s era, circa that sort of 2000s era, basically. I thought it was funny too, talking about the volume and everything, and sort of might maybe annoying people, which I kind of worry about, but not really to an extent. But when we were in that Gibson garage, we were in the champagne room, which is where they have a massive like wall that like collapses and interfolds into each other with different types of wood you can look at, and you can like they have like koa wood. Oh my god, art guitar. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for showing up. You have no idea how much it means for you to be on the stream right now. You are, if you're listening, Mike, you are my favorite YouTuber on the entire platform. I've been following you ever since I could even remember. Even when I was like 6 or 7, first picking up the guitar, you were like one of the. You and Stevie T were like the two first channels I've stuck with the entire time of my guitar and music journey. And I cannot thank you enough because you've inspired me just by watching your videos early to continue on with guitar, and is the best decision I have ever made. And I just can't. You are one of the people to thank for helping me get there. What's up, Nightmare? Reaper. Now that we got a bit of a more audience, if you have any questions, like I said in the very beginning, please feel free to ask me because I'm willing to answer them. My favorite Maiden album. My favorite Iron Maiden album kind of varies every time I listen to them. It's always either I always have loved Peace of Mind. It's always a variation of between Peace of Mind's my favorite or Power Slave's my favorite because I can listen to Power Slave front and back and it's incredible. I can also listen to Peace of Mind front and back and it's incredible. But I think I'm gonna have to give that currently to Peace of Mind just because I have a very special connection with Peace of Mind. That was the very first Megadeth Iron Maiden album I heard, and I have a very special connection with my favorite song by Iron Maiden, which is "Where Eagles Dare," which is the opener, which is Nico McBrain's debut for Iron Maiden, and I think Clive Burr, which is the original drummer for Iron Maiden, I think he was incredible on Number of the Beast and all the albums prior to that, prior Bruce Dickinson, and I just kind of prefer Nico more to Clive, but I love Clive's skill. I mean, I wish I could drum. If I could play any other instrument, it'd definitely be the drums. And my main influences, if I did ever play drums, will obviously be Nico and Tommy Aldridge. Tommy Aldridge, oh my god, I've been watching. I've been watching way too much clips of Tommy Aldridge lately. Just with I didn't know he was with Black Oak, Arkansas. I don't know if you guys knew that. I'm sure you guys did, but I'm just kind of late to the party. But I didn't know he was in Black Oak, Arkansas. He was in Black Oak, Arkansas. He's in Whitesnake now. He was with Ozzy. He was with so many people. It just blows my mind. Him and Rudy Sarzo too. I mean, they were just in everything. Like he was in Blue Oyster Cult, Whitesnake. Yeah, he was with Whitesnake with Steve Vai and Tommy Aldridge as well. He was in obviously Still Quiet Riot. He was with Ozzy. And he's been in everything. They've been they're just incredible. They're just magnificent. My favorite Beatles movie, all of the above, because they're all great. I think the only one I have not seen is Yellow Submarine, just because I think if I put it on, I know I probably won't finish it. Just because I think I would actually sit down and try to watch it if I knew the Beatles voiced their characters. That just kind of throws me off. I'm sure it's great, and I'm sure one day I'm actually going to sit down and watch it all the way through one day. But if I were to pick one, and this is excluding Get Back, the Get Back sessions. So I got a Hard Day's Night, Help. Actually, I think I'm going to go with Help. Help was, I know Hard Day's Night is like highly praised, and I love Hard Day's Night was great. But with my humor, I'm very into that British Monty Python esque humor, which is where I love that slapstick and very cleverness of that humor. And Help does that phenomenally, and I love watching that. That's my favorite Beatles movie. They did have a lot of different styles, two um different styles, and I just kind of prefer Nico's not rendition, but just take on Iron Maiden after Number of the Beast. Groovy Mary should be on here. I've heard you talk about that a lot, and I finally did. I think it was earlier this year. I finally watched it, and it was great. And I have no idea how I've never heard of that movie before. With like my almost 10 years of playing guitar, I've never heard, and like Ozzy fandom, I've never heard of that movie until you brought it up about, I think it was a couple months ago or about a year ago when we started live streaming. You told me about it, and it was really great. It's by far my favorite Halloween movie, besides like The Shining and like Ghostbusters and Gremlins. I don't know if you classify that as a Halloween movie, but yeah, I agree, Reed. Sadly, Charlie, I do not, and you're going to be severely disappointed in me. Warren De Martini, he was incredible. It's like when I listen to Out of the Cellar and Invasion of Privacy, I try to go and like learn the solos, but I kind of forget, and that's a problem because I really need to learn the Lay It Down solo. I really need to learn Rounded Round and all the other deep cuts that they've made that are just incredible. They don't get talked about. Yeah, I've tried learning Lay It Down. It was about a couple months ago, and like I said, Warren De Martini deserves way more attention. I mean, the way that riff was thought up was just brilliant, and it sounds freaking awesome. If you guys have any more questions, like I said, please feel free to ask. We have a lot of time to answer many, many questions. And any requests if you have as well. I can try my best to play it or sloppily attempt. Yeah, Lay It Down's an earworm, definitely. I've gotten in trouble many times at school humming that song and just multiple different rap songs and just stuff from that era. I actually haven't gone into the deep dive of uh, anything prior to Cowboys from Hell, which is I don't even know where you actually find that. If you know anywhere to find it, I know you can probably find it on YouTube. I don't think it's on any streaming like services like Spotify or anything. I'd like to listen to it, and if it's any good, I'd love to actually own it physically because I know what the album cover looks like. I just don't know where you would find it. I'll really have to listen to that because now you got me excited for it. Actually, I'm gonna have to really listen to it. That's what I've heard. They're kind of just like iffy. I know my favorite Pantera album is always in between like Far Beyond Driven and Cowboys from Hell. They're just incredible. Dimebag's playing on that's just massive and very very large. Also, Ringo's mom, if you're still watching, I'm going to very soon probably make a video about the White Album, which will be very fun to make. Just kind of me talking about the mysteriousness and kind of odd, just basically oddness of that album that people like steer away from once they first hear it. And it's like when you look at the record, it's just a white. I think it's funny because like a year before that, they released such this vibrant, abstract, different album cover, which was Sergeant Pepper, and then a year after, they just had an empty album cover, which I thought was pretty funny. But once you look at it, I think when I look at that album, I kind of view it as something is about to be revolutionary and so different and innovative that it's going to, like I said, revolutionize the music industry, like the Beatles did with every album they did. My favorite Megadeth album is Peace Sells. I love Rest in Peace. I love Dawn Patrol, Tornado of Souls, all the classic tracks from that album. But Chris Poland in Peace Sells, his tone and adding on to what Dave did, his Dave solos on Peace Sells, I think that rawness I'm very attracted to, and I just love Wake Up Dead. I think that is probably my favorite Megadeth song, with Tornado of Souls and The Conjuring very close together as my favorite because Wake Up Dead transitioning into The Conjuring, and then after I was like, okay, I'm kind of done with Peace Hills for a moment. I'm going on to Rust in Peace, and then I listened to that. Oh, those riffs are incredible. Like, Sabotage deserves more recognition, and I think it's honestly one of their best. Like when I put them in a ranking, obviously I'm Paranoid number one in my opinion. Number two, Sabotage without a doubt, and number three, I'd probably give it to um, Master of Reality or probably their debut album. I think that's like my top three. My favorite, and I personally think, obviously, those Children of the Grave and Center of the Universe, they're all incredible. I think Tony Iommi and Jimmy Page were the two most very, gosh, very. It's hard to explain in words how innovative they were as a riff creator. Their riff making was, I mean, you can hum along. If you can hum along to almost their entire discography, that's good riff making, in my opinion. Like Tony Iommi and Jimmy Page, I think are without a doubt the two greatest riff makers. I think the album you're talking about is um, Black Sabbath featuring Tony Iommi, and then I'm pretty sure it was Born Again. That album too, yeah, Born Again. Favorite Beatle in their solo career? I think that's a relatively easy pick for me. Paul. I love John. John's very close second, but Paul. I mean, he is, in my opinion, I think the greatest singer to have ever walked this earth. In my opinion, but I mean, you just look like he left the Beatles, and then he had a solo career. He made Wings, got it back from Wings, went back to his solo career, and pretty much everything he's did, besides a few exceptions, are just perfect. they're good. I mean, Band of the Run. That song alone, I think, is honestly one of my favorite and one of the best songs ever created. That song is just massive. It gives off such a. You're done listening to it, and then if you go to the end of the album, which is in 1985, which is the last track on that album, and like the Paul's voice on that is just so insane. Like I thought it was Denny singing it first, Denny Lane, but once he kept on going, and the ending so like escalated so much, climax, and then back into the ending of Bound on the Run. It's just so incredible. But yeah, to answer your question after my rant, it is Paul. And Bound on the Run is one of my favorite albums. Hell on Wheels, Jet, Bound on the Run, 1985. I mean, they're just all good. I think that's about it. All I know, and then I know like the very beginning of the Domination solo. Yeah. Oh yes, Mr. Scary by George Lynch. That's how he got his name. Also, if you guys didn't know, I'm sure you already did, but that's that song. I listen to it all the time. I think that might be Back for the Attack and Tooth and Nail and Under Lock and Key. I think are the three best um, Docket albums. I love Lynch Mob too. I thought I was going to have the opportunity to see George Lynch live, but that went, it got canceled for some reason. I still don't know. Yeah, but Mr. Scary is definitely one of my favorite instrumentals. Tony Martin era Sabbath was all right. I know they just recently remastered, uh, like the Helpless Cross. I believe they released the few albums what they did with Tony Martin, but I've just never been a really fan of that era of Sabbath. I've always been Dio, Ozzy, and a little bit of Gillan, but that's my opinion on it. I get told I have like a 45-year-old man. I take it as a compliment. I love it. I love having that old soul because like I don't really connect with anything like with new music. I don't really care for new music. New movies, I don't think they're really that funny. So yes, I have I have the stories of a 45-year-old man, and I take that as a compliment. So thank you. Yeah, music is by far my number one, like one of my top investments, is because I just can't get enough of it. There's so many different aspects of it that just draw me in like every single time. I just can't get away from it. It's beautiful. It's perfect. Also, I was actually going to mention this as well. If you have any sort of ideas that you guys want to see me do videos of, I know I do videos covering all major departments of the 70s and 80s and rock and metal. But if you guys have any ideas that you guys want me to make videos of, I can definitely come up with something and do as much as I possibly can about that certain subject. I'm 15 and I still haven't left it. We've been going on for almost an hour now. It doesn't feel like it. It feels like we just started. Never heard of Riot City. I have to check them out as well. I wish that all the time though, but I think it's like I wish I could go back to the 80s. But I think it's everything happens for a reason. I wasn't born in that era for a reason. I was born. I feel like I was kind of born to keep this generation going and alive with I know a lot of people that you guys should go subscribe to. There's this girl, her name is Guitar by Emily. You need to go subscribe to a guy named Joseph Henry. You need to go subscribe to a guy named Metallifier, and you need to go check out Cam the drummer. And they're unbelievably talented musicians that I'd love to collaborate with. Me and Cam, the drummer, we're supposed to be working on a song, but with recording just things at the moment, we don't have necessarily the best equipment to be able to do this. So we are just kind of taking our time, not kind of rushing into it to make it as good as we possibly can. It is going to be an instrumental because we don't have a lyricist. I could be a lyricist, but I'm not singing it. That's my only thing. If I ever write lyrics, it's going to be somebody else singing it 9 times out of 10. But I think I kind of need to get out of that rut of not wanting to sing. Because if I have a band and our singer doesn't show up, somebody got to step in. Yeah, like I hum, but that that ain't gonna work out live. I get that all the time though too. I think it's funny when people think like people walk up to me and be like, "Why do you like the '80s so much?" And my immediate response is, "How can you not?" All the movies, the era, the time, people were much more simpler and much more happier. And obviously I wasn't in that time period, but from what I saw, it definitely was much more different than what it is now, both politically. I don't like politics, but politically and just like society was calmer and definitely more content with the stuff that they had at the time that they had it. And the innovation and the creativity was far more than what it is now. And I'm very thankful for every single band that came from that era, especially Randy Rhoads, Mick Ronson, Jimmy Page, and Alex Lyson, and Richie Blackmore. Those are like my top inspirations from that era, and the best era, in my opinion. And Richie Blackmore was incredible. And I thought it was funny how when he did that interview saying that "Smoke in the Water" was just Beethoven backwards, which is really cool. Which shows the classical influence, which I really really love. Comments are going pretty swimmingly. 8 people, not bad. We're doing pretty good. I love Burn. I found a original copy of Made in Europe, and if you guys saw that short I made where I had Magical Mystery Tour and the White Album and the Randy Rhoads Years CD and the Blues Divide cassette, I was at a standstill of just trying to figure out which one I wanted to buy. It was being Magical Mystery Tour or Deep Purple Made in Europe, which I really really wanted very badly. But I obviously went with Magical Mystery Tour. But the next record I'd like to get is definitely Made in Europe and or Made in Japan. Those are two incredible, very incredible live albums by Deep Purple. Charlie. I really don't know how Richie Blackmore plays that. I've tried so hard to figure out what he does on that part, and I just cannot. It is incredible, though. 11 people. Awesome. We're doing this for an hour and 2 minutes. I think we might cover it about 11, not 11, 9, 15, 9:20, something around there. Give me a little time just to kind of wind down. I mean, yeah, like my amount of appreciation and love for Randy's music and his charisma and his attitude towards music is uh, unsayable. It's I cannot speak with words about how much Randy means to me. He's helped me, I mean, get through life. His music has helped me get through life, and he has inspired me. I think you guys can obviously tell by not only my how I portray myself, but how I uh, incorporate the classical aspects into the rock and roll that I love. That he did perfectly. I wish I could go back to 1985. That'd be freaking awesome. Yeah, that I have actually. I know you guys can't see it right now, but there's a massive like wall size Kiss Dynasty poster, original from 1979, and it came from a family member, and he was going to throw it away, and it just blows my like. Why would you throw that away? Like that's history. I mean, obviously at the time you probably don't think about it because you're like in the moment you're just like, okay, this probably won't be worth nothing in 50 years time, but it means something to me because I love all that stuff and being able to see this still intact. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but go on my community post and I'm sure you'll see a picture of it and just watch my videos, my long length videos, and you'll see them. But it's just incredible. Like a majority, 80% of my room and all the stuff that I collect is all original. At least I try to get it to be. Yeah, I can't believe Sharon liked one of my videos. I think Sharon and Jack liked one of my videos, and it is just I can't believe it. It made me so happy. I have a Rhoads guitar. It's a 2022 JS32T natural body, but the thing is, they really messed up on the manufacturing and the factory, and they messed a lot of stuff up on the making. They messed up on the bridge, and they usually put speed necks on there, and it was not. It was like driven a baseball bat, and the action is so high. But I mean, my guitar tech, I know Sam Ash closed recently, and it just my heart sank when I saw that. I was gonna go to my guitar tech to hopefully get that fixed, and now it is terminated August, and that really makes me not happy because Sam Ash was my go-to. But I'm definitely going to try to get that fixed as much as possible because I love that guitar. My early days of YouTube, which was like 2.5 years ago, like I said, I used that guitar. I played on a stage somewhere at our local park, and I played like renditions of Blizzard of Oz songs and Bark of the Moon songs as a tribute. It was like a 6 minute, 7 minute video, but it got copyright claimed for some reason. I have no clue why. I had to take it down. Yeah, it sucks very badly. Both the guitar being messed up and Sam Ash closing. No, God, no. And it's so annoying. I'm very thankful for where I live. It's a very small town, which I'm very thankful I don't live in a massive city, but we live in a very rural, kind of countryside place, and there's not a lot of people that are into this music like I am, and heavily invested into it. But if there is, they're usually like really arrogant. And they think they're better than everybody, and it's very annoying because I like go up to them, I talk to them like, "Hey man, like, do you know this guitars and that guitars? And like, have you dissected this? And maybe you should try doing this." And they just kind of come off as like a douche, and I don't really like it. And that's like there's like 2 or 3 people at my school that like metal, but they don't or they aren't as invested into it like I am. Basically, I do play in standard, but I do variate and you go into like C sharp, uh, drop D, and E flat standard. But normally I just stay in standard just because it's really easy to just kind of do things with standard instead of having to tune everything back up or tune everything back down. Or this guitar sounds incredible in E standard, but this guitar's sweet spot, in a sense, is E flat standard. E flat standard on this is like a beast. I mean, if you guys haven't checked it out, please go check out the my Shot of the Dark cover. It was either the Shot of the Dark solo cover or like the riff as a short. But I mean, this in E flat is just a monster. When I play Miracle Man and everything in E flat, I think just sounds better on this. But I'm very comfortable with standard. I do a lot, and I do a lot of Now I See It, Now You Don't is one of the most underrated Ozzy songs of all time. Now You See It, Now You Don't is incredible. Jake E. Lee was his solo on that was so gorgeous. Oh my lord! I don't even know how to play the solo because I haven't really sat down and like kind of slowed it down, isolated it, and it's just that riff is just like. I mean that riff is so incredible. I love it. Yeah, J.K. Lee was a very good. Him and Brad Gillis were very good substitutes for Randy after he passed away. Oh, dude, I can't lie. You told me that. I think you told me that in comment. That's just insane. I'm very envious of you that you have his guitar pick. I was on eBay actually, just like kind of scrolling about just different various stuff to buy for my addiction of collecting numerous stuff from the 70s and 80s. And they had, I don't know if it was real or not, but it was like a pick that Randy used live. And it was for like the very start of the Wizard of Oz tour. He used Fender mediums. If you turn the Fender medium pick over, it was like white, like flat white, and it had his RR logo stenciled on the back and the Blizzard of Oz logo stenciled on the back. But it was very weird, and you could definitely tell that was used. But if you flip it over, how what got me to think I was like that could possibly be real was the Fender Medium logo, and it being sort of that old Fender logo, and it was sold for like $170. I I wish I had $170 to buy it, but they whoever got it is either A, very lucky, or B, they just got very heavily scammed. I would have loved to been able to see Ozzy and Metallica on the Ultimate Sin tour, especially that Cliff Burton. Also read the story. There's so many. I'm gonna make videos about these actually. I'm gonna make a video about one, but I'm gonna tell you guys the other. If I just saw this Kirk Hammett interview where they were both fighting over the top bunk for the bus, and I don't know if they were like doing with like bottle caps, like drinks and stuff, but they were all debating and figuring out who wanted to be on the top bunk, who wanted to be on the bottom. And I think Cliff won, and he got top bunk, and that's when he kind of rolled out the window and ultimately passed away on us, sadly. But it's just crazy. Like, what? How different would it be if it was Kirk Hammett and he would have rolled out and just immediately? How different would it have been if Kirk Hammett would have been gone and Cliff would have stayed alive? It's just things I think about. That sucks. That sucks, Reed. I listen to very few Skid Row. Speaking of Skid Row, Lizzie Hale is the new lead singer of Skid Row, which I'm very actually kind of it's kind of awesome actually. But I hate that Sebastian Bach's not with them anymore. But yeah, like I said, I listen to very little Skid Row. I listen to their debut album. That's pretty much it. But I will definitely check that song out. Thanks, Raphael. Actually, DB, the closest person I'm at to being famous at that like celebrity level was met Mark Weiss, who was a photographer for any metal rock band you could possibly think of. He took pictures for, and what got me the most, what I had a connection to, was he took pictures for Ozzy and Randy in 1981. And like, if you a DB, like specifically to you, if you open up the tribute album and look on the back, like the cover and stuff, most of those pictures and like the promos and stuff were taken by Mark Weiss, and I got to shake his hand, talk to him about Quiet Riot, his experiences with Kevin DuBrow, and he actually had the key to Kevin DuBrow's house when they were doing stuff. It was either for the Wild and the Young when they were making Quiet Riot 3, or for Mental Health and Condition Critical. But around that time, Kevin DuBrow had his key, or Mark Weiss had Kevin DuBrow's key to his house, and it was just like that dude was friends with Kevin DuBrow. He met Randy. He met like Danzig, Dio, Metallica. I mean, it blows my mind that I got to shake that dude's hand, have him sign my Gibson SG, and just be in his presence. It was just incredible. I loved it. Uh, an experience I'll never forget. And he actually kind of looked shocked when I met him too, because I was talking to him about all the history and how much I appreciated his work and everything. And he was just like, "You're you're young. You're like 14. Like, how do you know all this?" I just thought it was awesome being able to talk to him about it and show my appreciation. That's that's awesome that you met Blackie Lawless. I cannot believe you met Pete Townsend. That's I'd love to see Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend reunite and hopefully do another Who tour. But with all the drama, not necessarily drama, but all the things that's going on with Pete Townsend not being able to make his mind up about what he wants to do, I don't know. I'm really hoping that they reconcile and come to an agreement. I know they're still friends and everything, but to a point where they are in agreement to do a tour, which I will definitely try to attend. I love the Who. Yeah, no, I'm so that's just incredible. I think we're going to wrap up about right now. I will probably do another live stream sometime soon, and if I don't, I will most likely do another one, hopefully for 4,000 subscribers or 5,000 subscribers. I hope we reach that before the end of the year. But it has been an incredible hour and almost and a half talking to you guys and discussing, and just thank you guys so much for tuning in and just if you have any ideas for what you guys want to see on my channel, definitely tell me in the comment section or tell me right now if you want to. And just, yeah, that's basically about it. I want to thank each and every one of you that viewed and that tuned in, and I will definitely see you guys next time. Bye bye.